Hello, folks. Say hello, chat. I'm gonna whack chat on the side so I can get a pop out chat. There we go. All right, hello, chat. How's it going? So this week we are covering White Scars and Jagatai Khan. In the past, I have spoken about the Khan and the White Scars and why I think I'm not a huge fan of the White Scars. I know, don't throw things at me. I'm not a huge fan of them. Mainly because I don't mind Games Workshop taking inspiration from history. I think that's a fine thing to do, and I think history is a very, very, very good tool to use if you're a writer and you're trying to make some cool stuff. But I also think that you may be egging the pudding a bit in what you do when you're Games Workshop and you say, we have a Primarch here. I want him to be kind of Mongol-y. Well, we'll make him Genghis Khan then. Alright? That's literally the entire conversation Games Workshop must have had when creating the White Scars and Jagatai Khan. It's literally just, we'll make him Genghis Khan. In space. Because nobody knows the story of Genghis Khan, and now, obviously, because everyone's an armchair historian, most people know the story behind Genghis Khan. Especially the kind of people you sell your models to. The kind of people you sell your models to are nerdy history people who like to read about warriors from the past. They all know Genghis Khan's story, and so when you actually read about Jagatai Khan and you read about the White Scars, it comes across as lame. Because it's just Genghis Khan. So I actually think, this week, we might be actually having a rather extensive rebuild. I don't know. I'm going to do our first poll of the day with chat. And that is going to be, how close to G-Khan are we making Jagatai? Alright. We'll do very. Same as now. Close but different. Complete rebuild. No, close but different. Inspired by. Or complete rebuild. Those are your four options. So, what are we doing with Genghis Khan? What are we doing with Jagatai Khan? How close are we making Jagatai Khan to Genghis Khan, right? Are we keeping him the same as now? Are we making him close to Genghis Khan, but a little bit different? Just a little bit different? Are we making him inspired by Genghis Khan, but that's it? Or are we doing a complete rebuild and throwing the baby out of the bathwater and saying, no, complete rebuild. We're going straight from the ground up. The one near the bottom, the complete rebuild, is the most work. The one near the top is hardly any work done whatsoever. If you're following along in chat, I think this is something that needs to be done. Yeah, I just do. If you're watching the video on YouTube, I can't see a world where I find this enjoyable if we keep the poor guy as it is. I don't think Games Workshop do the White Scars any sort of service whatsoever. In terms of just keeping them like Space Mongols. I just can't see it. It's not my kind of thing at all. You know. Let's whack this on so it's a bit more atmospheric. Here he is. Well done, John Stone, for your lovely art. John Stone's done a lot of White Scars stuff. Excellent. A Primaris White Scars there. Inspired by Musashi, says Perfection Hunter. That's a very, very interesting point. Put him on Chemos. There are like 5 people who've said to put the Khan on Chemos. Basically where Fulgrim was. There are like 5 people who say he should be there. Okay. We'll call it there. So, we're going to make Jakatai Khan close but different. Alright, we're going close but different. The third one down. The third one down. Okay, that's fine. Alright. And no, we're not. We're not. We're doing inspired by, which is the third one down. So he's going to have slight little variations in his story that will remind you of the Mongols, but he's not going to be literally Genghis Khan in space. All right. We've absolutely hit the nail on the head. Amu says Genghis Khan was a bit of a douche. Not going to lie. Yeah, understatement of the year. Understatement of the year. The guy killed so many people in Beijing that the streets literally ran with human fat. You know, it wasn't a pleasant person. Can't you blame them, says Fussy Tom. Oh my god. Ugh. Alright. Alright. Give me some ideas in the chat about where Genghis Khan, Jakatai Khan, is going to be from. I know a few of you said Kemos. If you tell me Kemos, you need to tell me why. Because Fulgrim is currently on Kemos. So why is Genghis Khan, is Jakatai Khan going over there? Are we keeping him on Mundus Planus? Are we keeping him on his homeworld? His current homeworld? Vast open plains and all that. Yeah? Jalaxu says, capture the feel of the Mongols from the view of the nations they conquered, but the idea that a chapter of Space Marines can have a single cultural / genetic heritage after 30,000 years is hard to believe. I agree. I agree, it is hard to believe. It is very hard to believe. Mad Max Planet, you have hit the nail on the head there, my friend, I think. Yeah, Mad Max Planet sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Neo, thank you for gifting 1 memberships to people, by the way. Good of you. So, are we making Chigoris more of a Mad Max style planet? Yeah? Hey, Wing. Hey, Wings of Steel. How's it going, man? Are we making Chigoris more of a Mad Max style planet? No. Speed freaks. Talk to me. Orc speed freaks. Talk to me. Are we whacking speed freaks on the same world? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like we've got Chigoris there. And it's the Khan just riding around Chigoris on motorbikes. He's like in biker gangs and shit. And he's literally got speed freaks running around the world with him, fighting him all the time. Oi! Right? How awesome would that be? Literal speed freaks in a Mad Max style world where petrol is used as money. And the Khan fights running battles with these dudes. We start to pull the Khan away from Genghis Khan and historical, you know, things. And we make him more 40k. We make him more Warhammer, right? Dark and scary, and that's why he wants to go fast, indeed. Gives lots of conversion opportunities for your models. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now, here's the thing with the speed freaks. I wouldn't want to wipe them out. Right? I think the Khan should be like, I don't want to wipe these guys out. These guys complete me. So he keeps like knocking them down to when they're nearly gone. And then lets them rebuild again. Right? Lets them rebuild. Yeah. Alright. I don't even think we need to vote for this, because I think a lot of you are really on board with this idea. A lot of you really are on board with it. So, White Scars. So, Chigoris is a Mad Max style world. Oh. World filled with speed freaks. filled with speed freak orcs. Jagatai fights the orcs and saves the empires on the world, uniting them under him. And nobles on Jagoris are essentially posh biker gangs. How does that sound? So Jagoris, his home world, is a Mad Max style world. Literally, my name is Max and my world is fire, right? Petrol is used as money in this setting to get from place to place. And it's filled with speed freak orcs. Like hundreds of thousands of speed freaks riding around. And Jagatai fights the orcs and saves the empires on the world and unites them under him. And the nobles on Jagoris are essentially very posh biker gangs. Imagine the High Lords of Terror, but they're all bikers. With the wigs and all sorts, right? That's the most 40k thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. Jalaxu says, I love the idea of blood axes trade and occasionally work with the Imperium. You could have some interaction between the speed freaks and population prior to the Khan's arrival. What's the Khan to do? Yeah, I think you could have the speed freaks being sort of symbiotic with the humans, but they're constantly fighting because, you know, they're orcs. And in doing so, you know, the Khan comes in there and every couple of years the speed freaks lead like a massive war against the empires, and the Khan rides out to meet them. He rides out to basically meet them. Gorka Morka, but posh. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What about Dark Eldar, says Don Mac. Well, Dark Eldar can I'll tell you what. I also like the Dark Eldar being a thing. So what I think we should do, when the Emperor comes to Jagoris, right, and he gives... And let's see if you guys like this idea. And he gives the 5th Legion to Jagatai Khan. He goes into the stars, right? He finds the first few moons, and literally the first few planets in his immediate system are all literally owned by the Dark Eldar, right? Literally just owned by them. Right? And they're running, like, you know, pirating rings and things, right? And his entire Great Crusade is breaking the back of the only Dark Eldar Empire outside of the Webway. So the only Dark Eldar Empire outside of the Webway is around Jagoris. And the Khan, for literally the whole Crusade, is leading this vast runoff. Like, he's off on his holes, killing all of these Dark Eldar. How do you feel about that? Because then we can have our cake and eat it, right? We've got the speed freaks on Jagoris. And we've also got the Dark Eldar in there, because they like to go fast too. Right? How does that sound? How does that sound? Khan smashes Dark Eldar Empire in the Great Crusade. How does that sound to you? Bear in mind, this wouldn't be easy. Like, I'm not saying it should be something that he can just do, right? And, you know, I honestly don't think that's what we're going to do. I think what we should be doing is giving the Khan a real challenge. Like, he has a real challenge that he needs to overcome. Let's see. See what you guys think. The Khan smashes Dark Eldar Empire in the Great Crusade. Again, this is not easy, right? This is something that the Khan... It takes the entire Great Crusade, like the entire thing, for him to get rid of this empire. You know? And this is why his dudes literally range so far. Because the Dark Eldar are everywhere. He chases them across the galaxy. Literally wipes them out so that they're not there anymore. Amu says, I like it, but needs a bit more expanding. Well, that's... I don't think we're really here to do that. We're here to rebuild the ideas, right? The expanding can be done in books and short stories and things. We're not here to write those. Tom says, Dark Eldar kind of enslaved the primitives of the planet by pretending to be sky gods and abducting them. Khan shows up, sees through it, and motivates the planet to ride out and skirmish with them. That'd be cool too, yeah. I mean, we can have Dark Eldar on Chogoris as well. You know, they can be taking orcs and taking humans. They think this is really fun, right? That's what they do. Wish I could smash Dark Eldar, says Tom. Well, don't we all? Don't we all? Faust says, now you're starting to sound like Games Workshop, where they're always giving it to the elves. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I think what you have to remember, Faust, right, is in 40k, the elves should get wins. Eldar and Dark Eldar should get wins in modern 40k. Against an entire Space Marine Legion, nothing should be standing up to that. That is 100 to 200,000 angry superhumans. Like, yeah, like, what are you supposed to do? This is the Great Crusade, dude. This is the Imperium at its very, very height. You're telling me they couldn't smash a Dark Eldar Empire at that stage? Of course they could. Of course they could. Okay. Oh, Durdu has another good idea there. Alright. Okay. Alright. So, remember last time we said that the Emperor actually sent out the Primarchs for specific reasons? Durdu had a really good idea there. And that's the second one he's had today. So, applaud Durdu. Well done, mate. He said that's why he was sent to Chogoris. Was to hold the Dark Eldar Empire. So, yes. Khan sent to Chogoris to stop Dark Eldar expansion. But Orcs halted his plans. Now he's off the planet and taking the fight to the Dark Eldar. Sweet. Alright. So we got him off Chogoris now. We got him off Chogoris. You know, Matthias says, I'm not sold on speed versus speed bit. Speed should counter something else. Why? Why? Okay, so you're making a writing judgment, not a logic judgment. Yeah? That's just how it is. Like it's like saying, well, Napoleon sent his great guard up against, you know, his old guard against Wellington up a hill, and he shouldn't have done that. That makes no sense. Yeah, but that's what he did. So, you know, that is not an argument. If you say, oh, you know, speed should counter something else. Yes, it should. But warfare doesn't, abide by your terms. The world doesn't just bend over backwards. We're not writing Space Wolves here. The entire setting isn't going to bend over backwards to accommodate the White Scars. And it won't with the Space Wolves either when we get to them too. I'm looking forward to that episode. So, you know, who's to say the Emperor doesn't know the speed freaks are already there? And by the way, if you have an entire world with rampaging Mad Max style orcs rushing around on motorbikes, you'd best be rest assured that your entire form of warfare is built around bikes and speed and countering what they have. Your entire form of warfare will be built up around maneuverability. And either getting away from orc attacks or hitting them back in hit and run attacks. turning their own warfare against them. So it makes complete sense for the White Scars to develop their way of war on a planet that is so vast and wide, like a Mad Max style world, with tons of orc bikers on it. It makes less sense for the White Scars to develop this way of war on a planet that doesn't have such a threat on it. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. So when you say speed should counter something else, well, yeah, I suppose, but that's not what that's not. We're not living in an ideal world, right? I like the thought of Jagatai having the appearance of a scary biker, but is capable of being a softie. Okay, folks, did you guys ever see a show called Sons of Anarchy back in the day? Yeah. Did you ever see that show? All right, I've got an idea as to who should play Jagatai Khan in anything that we do. Right? I've just got an idea. I think you know what I mean, right? I think if we're gonna go with hear me out. I know it's mental. Just hear me out. What do we think of Ron Perlman? I know he's supposed to be Asian. I don't care. What do we think about Ron Perlman? With that moustache. So we've taken... I want to take the White Scars to be like... Not Asian stand-ins. Not Mongolian stand-ins. I want them to look like this. Like, they're literally bikers in space. That scar their own flesh. They literally scar their own flesh just to, you know, do that kind of a thing. Are we going too far? Or are we pulling it back? We're leaving it there. Because I like the biker aesthetic. But I'd like to move it away from Genghis Khan in space. Can we do that with a Ron Perlman? Can we do that with an actual biker gang that's just Legion sized? What do we think? What do we think? Are the White Scars more biker gang than Mongolian stand-ins? Which way are we taking them? Which way are we taking them? Are the White Scars gonna... Are White Scars? The White Scars gonna be more biker gang than Mongolian stand-ins? You know? And if we do that, then we need to work in biker culture into the White Scars. Right? Again, forget the Ron Perlman thing. Forget the Ron Perlman thing. Alright? But this is the kind of look we're going for. Imagine this in power armor. Same culture, same kind of attitude, same kind of meetings, right? They sit around a big table and discuss things. Yeah? They're very independent. So these squads, these parts of the Legion will go out into the galaxy and generally just wreak havoc. You know? Momoa for the Khan? Well, again, poor choice of words. I wouldn't have Ron Perlman playing Jagatai Khan. Don't be silly, right? But what I'm saying is that lest that we're going to make them Sons of Anarchy in space. That's not what I want to do. What I want to do is take the White Scars, keep a little bit of Asian influence in there, of course, right? Make them do calligraphy, make them do really cool stuff like that. That's fine. But make their organization more like a gang of bikers. More like a bunch of lads on the road on bikes. Right? White Scar, yeah. Wings of Steel. Cheers for the £2, mate. He says, White Scar leather jackets with company patches. Yes! That's exactly what I mean. Exactly what I mean. Can you imagine a guy in power armor wearing like a Drake leather jacket? Like flows behind him. Do you know the Duster? The Duster from Fallout New Vegas. 1 second. New Vegas. Ranger. That looks cool. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Right. I want every white scar to be wearing something similar to this. Right? Something similar to that. I know the resolution isn't very good. It's a small picture, but I want something similar to that. So they're wearing the power armor and all the good gear, but they've got something like that on over it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's grey and it's grimy and has different patches on it and there's different scars cut into it. All of the campaigns are all stitched into it of where they've been and what they've done. Right? They ritually scar their flesh and they tattoo themselves too. Right? That kind of a look. And imagine that billowing behind them as they're just riding through things. You know what I'm saying? That kind of a coat is like right behind them, like shoosh, as they go across the plain. The leather is the hides of orcs they fight on their planet. Yeah, but it could also be dark, couldn't it? It could literally be the hide of anything that they're fighting, even human. Even human, because if you turn against the Imperium, you're less than human to them. Right? Less than human. What am I doing with this picture? I should have just used this one. It's much better. There we go. There we go. It's literally on the box art. Look. See? So they've got something like that billowing behind them whilst they're on their bikes. And it's not brown, it's like grey, you know? It's like really dark grey. And it's underneath their armour, so it's not like covering it or anything. It's really dark grey. And on it you've got like patches and stuff. And you've got, not literal patches, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, bits carved into it. You've got like parts of the enemy have been stapled onto it. Looks brutal. But that's what we're going with, right? Alright. It's divided, people, but 62% say that's what we're going with, so that's what we're going with. We're actually going with true biker white scars. Alright, cool. I love the armor, so I'm going to leave it on there for a little minute. Actually, no, I won't. I'll take it off because we're going back to the Asian stuff now. So, somebody said it before. Who said before about Miyamoto Musashi? Who said it before? Yeah? Who said it before? Here's my thing. So we've added these biker elements into the white scars. Okay? But that does not mean that we should take away the white scars' ability, or not ability, their Asian influence altogether. It's Perfection Hunter. Cheers, mate. That doesn't mean we should bring away all of the white scars' Asian heritage completely. I don't think we should. I think it should stay Mongol samurai in space. Right? But with an absolute injection of biker identity in there. Yeah? So, how do I put this without sounding really, really, really bad? How Asian are we going? How Asian are we going? Same as before. Infusion with biker culture. Totally biker. Alright. How Asian are we going? Are we going the same as before, 40k style? Are we infusing it with biker culture and making it meld in together? And if so, we'll discuss how to do that. Or are we going completely biker culture? Are we going completely mental and doing biker culture? Frog Wizard says, I like the idea of basically Yakuza on bikes. Yeah. Michigan Yankee says, so Space Yakuza. I'm not Japanese, but they're mafia. No. I wouldn't say we're going Yakuza, no. Maybe the Asian bikers are descendants from colonists from the Golden Age of technology. Yeah. Could be. Could be. So, one thing I don't wanna lose here, very, very specifically, guys. All right, I don't want to lose the identity of the White Scars having Asian influences and things like stoicism, right? Being above things, laughing in combat, the joy of the ride, the joy of the hunt. Yeah? I don't want to lose that. I really don't want to lose that. So for going Asian, I would rather infuse it and bring it back towards a Miyamoto Musashi style, right? So rather than making these guys space Mongols, why don't we make them an infusion of samurai culture and Mongolia mixed together into one? You know, and maybe even some Chinese Confucianism in there too, right? So they're very reflective. They write poetry. They write death poems. They write haiku, right? You know, and maybe even they daub their bikes in haiku. Maybe that their highest form of poetry is actually etched into their bikes, right? That'd be cool. I'm going a bit too far into it there, damn Legion. Yeah, he says, Mongols fought Japan, so make Yakuza bikers an enemy of the planet the Khan has to beat. Yeah, I mean, we're going backwards. But I like the idea. But we're going backwards, back to the planet now. We've left the planet. As long as they drag their enemies with chains behind their bikes, I'm fine with it. Dude, who are you, dude? How would you keep coming up with these amazing ideas? Of course they do. Of course they drag their enemies behind them on bikes. Ceremonial katanas. Yes. Yes. Are they communist and social thinking? We don't do real life politics in 40k. Haiku purity seals. Yeah, we do cultures, we don't do politics. Yeah, haiku purity seals. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah. Somebody said about Perfection Hunter says, let's have a single hive city Akira style that is safe from the speed freaks. A Japanese hive city with lots of neon. Yes, man. Yeah. Only city on Chiguris is essentially a feudal Neo-Tokyo. Like in Akira. The White Scars are an infusion of samurai honor codes, practices, and outlooks with a biker gang brotherhood organization and mentality. How does that sound? How does that sound? We can leave behind the culture after this bit, I think, which is kind of big. We'll end that poll and we'll start this next one. Alright. Okay. White Scars are an infusion of samurai, Mongol ways of war and honor with biker brotherhood identity. How's that? Let's ask the chat. The White Scars are an infusion of samurai/Mongol ways of war and honor with biker brotherhood identity. What do you guys think? Maybe Big T, maybe. What about Stormseers? We'll get to that in a minute. I don't think Stormseers need to change. I think Stormseers are fine, as they are. The Stormseers already blend in with what we're already doing. Alright, Michigan Yankee. See you, man. Yeah, Perturaba, yeah. Hive City, Blade Runner, and Collapsed Mega Corporation. Yep, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, Faust, they're already wielding katanas. Like, literally energy blade katanas. If you can't decapitate somebody with that, what can you decapitate them with? Alright, it seems everybody's happy with that. Everybody's happy with that. So, here's the biggie, and I bet you didn't see this one coming, right? Bet you didn't see this one coming. Oh, the White Scars. Loyal? Or traitors? I don't want another Renegade Legion so soon. We're doing Renegade or Traitors. I don't want to do a cop-out and make them Renegade. We're one or the other. JD Studio said it there, yeah. Loyal because of their samurai style honor, yeah. Perfection Hunter says honor equals loyalty, yes. Frog Wizard says, does traitor mean auto chaos? No, because in the real lore it doesn't either, does it? It doesn't automatically mean chaos. Yeah, Don Mac, that sounds cool, yeah. So we could make the Stormseers Technomancers. Technomancers. So they're basically fix bikes. That's literally all they do is fix bikes. Yeah, I'd love to do it. That's cool. I've always liked they're loyal, but not unquestioning like the wolves. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm also on the side of, like, if we're making them very samurai-like, it'd be very, very, very difficult to turn them traitor, right? Very difficult. Like, samurai lords, the one thing that I teach modules on Sengoku Era Japan, right? Samurai lords turn against each other all the time. It was pure Game of Thrones, right? So all of this honor, no, bullshit. But single samurai were very honourable. Like single samurai would stick to their lord. They wouldn't betray him, right? Other lords would betray each other because they were almost given credence to do that. They were allowed to do that because of their station, right? But actual samurai very, very rarely turn against their lords. Very rarely. Yeah. Throckmorton says, yeah, the Orcs should have their own shitty cyberpunk Hive City. Yes, they should, and they do. Of course they do, on this Chigoris. Of course they do. Of course they do. Duke Gurren says, there are certain quotes from the books that still hold true to the nature and ways, such as fighting for an empire that didn't want them, against a brother that would have taken them in a heartbeat. Yeah. Hunter says, start off traitor, but turns loyalists when they see how gone their brothers have fallen. Dude. We've never seen that arc, have we? We've never seen an entire legion fall to chaos or fall to Horus's side and then go, do you know what? Y'all are just cringe. See ya. We're going to go over here now. We've never seen that. At the moment, everybody says loyal. But I'm going to introduce another poll here. Do they join Horus out of brotherly honor and then leave him to stay loyal to Emperor? Alright. So what I'm saying here is, do the White Scars join Horus out of brotherly honor, right? You're my brother, I am honor bound to be with you, right? And then they go, do you know what? You guys are falling to chaos? What is this? This is cringe. No, we didn't sign up for this. And they leave. They leave and go to Terra and say, listen, we're sorry, blah, blah. And that could be a reason why they're kept outside the walls of the Imperial Palace. They're not allowed inside the Imperial Palace. Yeah? So the Imperial Fist and the Blood Angels are, but they're not. They're not allowed inside the walls. Well, we'll get to Magnus when we get to Magnus, damn Legion. Yeah, we are literally going way ahead now. Chris C says, no, too flip-floppy to be honourable. It depends. It depends what your what your reasons are. So, what if Jakatai Khan's main friend is Horus, right? And all of Jakatai Khan's friends, Magnus, people like that, they're all with Horus. And Horus says to him, look, listen, I'm your brother. I will never leave you astray. The Emperor is a tyrant who needs to be cast down. And this is the honourable thing to do. We're doing the hard decision. That would make the Khan go, okay, cool, fine, I'll go along with that. Until he sees the demons, and he sees the eradication of the loyalist elements of the Legion, things like that. Then he goes, no, screw this, right? We could have the Khan fight his way clear. I tell you what we could do. Why don't we put the Khan, right, at Istvan 5? The drop site massacre. And his entire legion is fighting with Horus, on Horus's side. Against the legions that are coming in to face him, right? As soon as he sees that, the Emperor's children go a bit crazy, we're starting to see things fall apart, and the traitors are winning, and as soon as he sees that the loyalist legions are betrayed, he turns against Horus. He says, no, this is not honourable. This is not what we're doing. We're here for a stand-up fight, and if we need to die for our ideals, then we die for our ideals, but we don't do things like this. We're better than this. And Horus says, hey man, to make an omelette, you gotta break a few eggs. And the Khan says, yeah, go suck a dick. Go suck a dick, Baldy. And draws his blade, and they cross blades. And maybe the White Scars are the only reason why many of the loyalists get away, because the White Scars lead them in a breakaway. They break through the traitor lines with no warning whatsoever. They break through with their bikes the traitor lines, and they lead people to teleportation points and ships to get them off the planet, and they shield them. They shield them with their hit and run warfare, right? Because now an entire legion of around 150,000 pissed off bikers are screening the retreat of the loyalists. Maybe we do that. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we do that. Yeah, I think we do that. Alright, let's do that. So, Khan originally sides with Horus out of brotherly duty and honour, as he trusts him. After seeing his dishonourable tactics at Istvan 5. Wait, dishonourable tactics at Istvan 5. He turns on Horus and sides with the loyalists, screening their retreat from the massacre and escaping with half of his legion to Terra. In the Siege of Terra, he is made to fight outside the walls, as no one trusts him. Alright. So now we get to see the White Scars on Terra, like fighting as they should fight, outside the walls, riding around outside the walls, right? Just as they do. Are we changing much about how they fight the Siege of Terra? I'm not sure we should. Are we changing much about it? I'm really not sure we should. I think I like their arc on the Siege of Terra. I think they do quite well. I like the Lionsgate Spaceport raid. You know, I like taking that back. I like the fact that he fights Mortarion. Because he's like a hard counter to the Death Guard, right? I like the fact that he fights Mortarion. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not seeing why we should change that, to be honest with you. You know? JD Studio says, or better yet, the Khan is late to Istvan 3 due to a warp storm, where he discovers the desolation, and a lone survivor in Loku tells all. Enraged at Horus's dishonour, he travels to Istvan 5. Maybe. I think we're retconning too much of what we've already said in stone now, if we do that. Durdu says they are more vicious, trying to prove their loyalty. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Pertra Alba, maybe they are a selfish legion, like the Riders of Rohan at the Siege of Gondor. A relief legion, yeah. Maybe. No, I think they'd be there way before anyone else gets there, to be honest with you. I mean, these are the White Scars, right? They're very quick. They'd be there pretty quick. Badr Alamar says, or they could have turned traitor to understand Horus more to defeat him. They faked it. I don't much like that idea, because I think Jagatai Khan and Horus are quite close in this setting, you know? Who kills Khan in the lore? Alright, so I think we've decided that Throckmorton says, after this, don't they have to seppuku themselves, though? Why? They didn't lose. They didn't lose. They won the battle by fighting on the traitors' side, and then turned on the traitors and won the battle to get the survivors away from the traitors in Istvan 5. They won twice. Like, you know. Alright. Does the Khan survive the Siege of Terra? Thank you for the $5, sorry. Big T says, the White Scars turn on Horus Istvan 5. Scars get annihilated instead of salamanders, cooked, and nuked Scars become Legion of the Damned. Just a thought. Ooh, bloody hell. That is a earth shatterer. That is an earth shatterer, dude. I like it, but I can't use it for that reason. We would have to throw out this entire video. We'd have to just throw it out. If you said that to me at the start, I would have gone with that. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, Big T. What we'll do, right? Some of the slain White Scars are scorched and become the Legion of the Damned. There you go. I'll whack that in. I think that's such a good idea. I'm putting it in. So the White Scars who do fall East Van 5, are heavily hinted. Heavily hinted. We don't say, because in 40k, remember, vagueness is your friend. We don't say, but it's heavily hinted that the guys who died on East Van, the White Scars, because they were damned, because they were originally traitors, they become the Legion of the Damned. Alright? I tell you what, Perturabo, that's a good point. Let the Salamanders be the Legion of the Damned. Why can't they all be Legion of the Damned? But the thing is, the reason why is because they didn't turn against the Emperor. There's the phrase there, isn't there, Perturabo? Damned. The Legion of the Damned. It's not the Legion of the nice people who didn't turn against the Emperor. You know, it's the Legion of the Damned. They should be damned for some reason, right? These guys never made it to Terra to absolve themselves in the Emperor's eyes. So they're damned. I like Big T's idea more. I like that idea more. I like the fact that, yeah, because they're Legion of the Damned for a reason rather than being, you know. JD Studio says, the Khan, racked by guilt, goes on a crusade after Terra to restore his honor, where he is killed by Mortarion, his closest brother, after Horus. Okay. I'll be damned, says Damned Legion. Alright. So we are done, and Jagatai Khan has survived the Siege of Terra. So round 1 against Mortarion is a draw. Right? Is a draw. Mortarion wounds Khan to the point that he is basically nearly dead, and Mortarion in turn is banished. Right? Okay. So, after the Siege of Terra, are we changing much about the White Scars? After the Siege of Terra. So from the Siege of Terra all the way through to 40k, what are we changing, if anything? Or do we like the way... Are we letting this Legion just, you know, evolve as they are? We can do that too. Yeah? Are we changing more of the White Scars towards 40k? Or are we happy with letting... Are we changing the White Scars? Or are we happy? Chris C with the $20. I appreciate it. I appreciate you as well, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Are we changing much about the White Scars going forwards now? Bear in mind, if you want to change more about the White Scars from here, it is very, very, very important that you make sure that you tell me and the chat and the people watching the video what you would change going forwards from now, right? What are we changing? You can't just say, yes, we're changing more of the White Scars towards 40k. Alright? Are we keeping the Legion that we have now, that we've built, and moving them forwards to 40k to be the chapter, you know, very similar in 40k to what we've made? Or are we changing more of them over the 10,000 years? And if so, what? Big T says, perhaps the fast chapters learn from the White Scars. For example, Ravenwing from Dark Angels send their recruits to learn from the Scars. Good idea, I like that one. Yeah, good. They become Ronin and crusade to regain the honor they lost. Fuck me. Fuck me, how'd you do this, man? What an idea. What an idea. Alright, we'll end that poll. It's deadlocked. Alright. White Scars become Ronin. Fleet Chapter. Obsessed. Travelling the Stars. And finding Absolution by fighting the enemies, by fighting chaos, right? By fighting chaos. Are we happy with that as their ultimate fate? That they become, by the way, that they become more and more extreme, and eventually convert to worship the Emperor as a god. How does that sound? Right? So we've made the White Scars more dogmatic. They're more dogmatic now. Yeah? So White Scars Ronin. Obsessed with Absolution. And worship the Emperor. Grim, dark. How's that? So, the White Scars are Ronin, obsessed with absolution and forgiveness from the Emperor, and they worship the Emperor as a god. That's what happens as we go towards 40k, right? So throughout the 10,000 years, the White Scars start to lose their smile. They start to lose their joy. They start to lose their thrill of the hunt. And they end up becoming basically near silent, obsessed with Absolution dudes who never back down, right? They just never go away. They never back down. So the White Scars become Ronin. Fleet chapter based and obsessed with travelling the stars and finding Absolution by fighting chaos and any other enemies of the Emperor. They become more and more extreme and eventually convert to the worship of the Emperor as a god. They lose their innocence. They lose their innocence over the 10,000 years. More fleet-based, more crusades. Yes. Religious biker gang, says Grot. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. If they become dogmatic, do they still have psychers? Do. That's a good point. I'd say yes, they do, because the Black Templars are insane, you know, and they're different. They're not Templars on bikes. These dudes, they still have psychers because they believe the Emperor is a psyker. He's the lead psyker, right? So other people are born in the Emperor's image. That's good, right? Warrior Monk Ronin, exactly. Big T says their worship is so fanatical that they compete with the Black Templars and they work together regularly for that reason. Mega Crusades. Yep, love that idea. Love that idea. Love that idea. Right, okay. So. Where does the Khan go? Where does the Khan go? The Khan can't be alive, because obviously he needs to go away somewhere so we can bring him back for 40k, right? So where does the Khan go? Throw in the chat. We need the Khan to go somewhere. Is he dead? Right? I'll tell you what we'll do. Is the Khan alive, quote unquote, at the time of the destruction of Cadia and the turn of Primarchs. Alright. So I've asked you there, is the Khan alive, quote unquote, at the time of the destruction of Cadia and the return of the Primarchs? What I mean by alive is, he could be alive but missing, alive but in stasis, alive but... You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He's alive but not a part of the action. Or is he dead? Or is he dead? A lot of people saying same as canon. Frog Wizard says, what if instead of the warp, the Khan disappears to a far uninhabited planet to meditate and reflect on his perceived sins? That's good, yeah. Durdu says he drives into the webway. He wants to redeem himself by serving his role he got at the start. Yeah. Matthias says, spiritual pilgrimage, maybe to find the Emperor's spirit, as he doesn't believe it resides in Terra. Okay. Perturaba says, I like to see the Khan become a little more like Lorgar at this time. Okay. Beda says he commits seppuku when he got word that the Horus killed the Emperor, quote unquote. Okay. Don Mac says, let's make him a bike dreadnought. Duke Gurren says, through self-imposed exile, he took a number of his legion to the darker unknown reaches of the galaxy, searching for the traitors, and has never been heard from again. Tereka says, he goes looking for Vulcan. Perturabo, a loyalist Lorgar / Buddha. Damned Legion says, the Khan has been in the Halo stars or Haddock's anomaly. Okay, so we know he's alive. Main thing, we know he's alive, right? I've got to choose one of these ideas now. Or mix a few. Mix a few. Alright, okay, how's this? How's this? The Khan leaves the Imperium to go to the Ghoul Stars, as Damned Legion just said there. He goes to the Ghoul Stars. And he goes there to try and basically find absolution, to find himself, to contemplate on the failure that he thinks he is. Yeah? He goes over there to do that. And whilst he's there, do you know of a chapter called the Death Spectres? Right? So the Death Spectres, they actually, their main chapter master sits on a relic called the Throne of Glass. And this is supposedly similar to the Golden Throne, right? And he was sent a vision by the Emperor to go over there and sit on the on the Throne of Glass. I'm wondering whether we give that to the Khan. And we let the Khan sit on the Throne of Glass. Why? Because he wants to communicate with the Emperor. He wants to find absolution. He wants to ask his father for absolution when he never got the chance. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? So we can still come back. Yeah? What do we think? Combine everybody's ideas. The Khan is meditating in the Ghoul Stars on Throne of Glass, trying to commune with the Emperor. Khan's not a powerful enough psyker. Yeah, he doesn't know that though. That's why he's trapped there for 10,000 years. Because he's like, right? I'm just very reticent to give every Primarch this amazing, you know, let's go into the Eye of Terror and fight chaos. You know, it just doesn't... What, everyone? You know, like, can't other people do other things? You know? Rigor Mortis, I haven't seen your original. What did you say? You said mine's better. What did you say? I've scrolled upwards. I can't find it. Big T says he meditates in Lionel Johnson's magic forest to try and speak to Dad. Finds out about this place after the line returns. They're like, yeah, maybe. JD Studio says the Khan is stuck on the glass throne and is freed by the Grey Knights. Maybe. Rigor Mortis says, I have been back reading Rogue Trader again, and I don't even like the idea of Primarchs. Well, I mean, we are where we are. We are where we are. By the way, Damned Legion, by the way, the Throne of Glass doesn't require a Psyker. If you read its lore, it doesn't require a Psyker. Yeah? It just requires somebody of great will. It doesn't require a Psyker. So him not being a very good Psyker isn't a part of it. Like, it doesn't matter. Is this the same throne as in the Path of Heaven novel? I think it might be, yes. If they're over that side of the galaxy, I think it might be on Messiah, yeah. I think it might be. Alright, this one has also split people. But I think we're going to have to go with it. As like an ending to the entire thing. We'll do one more vote. And if we don't get it in the next couple of seconds, then I'll call it. If he's there in the Ghoul Stars, what horrors find him? Exactly, yeah, well that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. There are horrific things in the Ghoul Stars. What if one of them gets to the Khan? Right? Right, we'll end that there. So, 62%, it won the vote. So the Khan is on the Throne of Glass. And you know what? I like the Death Spectres so much. How about we bring the Khan back by the Death Spectres finding him? Right? How about that's how we... So we make the Death Spectres successors of the White Scars. And they find him. They bring him back. Khan tries to find Absolution from the Emperor by sitting on Throne of Glass in Ghoul Stars. Stuck there for 10,000 years in warp anomaly. He is found by the Death Spectres, a White Scar successor chapter, and is freed when their chapter master takes the Khan's place on the throne. How's that? How's that? So we've used a completely separate thing from an obscure part of the lore. Right? The Death Spectres are the ones, because they're in the Ghoul Stars. That's what they do. And they ride around the Ghoul Stars, killing things for Absolution and the Emperor, and they're the ones who find the Khan. And they go, whoa, that's the Khan. He's literally right there. And their chapter master learns about the Throne of Glass and takes the Khan off and sits on it himself. Takes his place. Big T says, perhaps Throne of Glass is what allows the Legion of the Damned to exist. He stays there so they can earn their repentance. So if the... Yeah, okay, alright. Unknown to them, the Throne of Glass powers the Legion of the Damned. Well then, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. Because how did the Legion of the Damned become a thing after Istvan if no one's sitting on the thing? If no one's sitting on the throne, right? I like that idea. I love that idea, Big T, but we can't use it. It invalidates our previous lore that we wrote. Perfection Hunter says the Death Spectres find him and keep him safe for thousands of years, trying to figure out how to free him. He gets freed because of the Cicatrix Maledictum, messes things up. Yep, okay. They watch over him for thousands of years. And the Great Rift shatters the thrones, hold on the Khan long enough for him to be replaced on it. There we go. There we go. And that is the Khan. That is the White Scars. You know? That is the White Scars. We're done. We're done. We've done it again. Another week has gone by. And so let me read out what we've got so far. So, the White Scars. This is what we figured out, what we're going to do. So, Jagoris, the home world of the White Scars, is a Mad Max-style world filled with speed-freak orcs, and Jagatai fights the orcs and saves the empires of the world and unites them under him. The nobles on Jagoris are essentially posh biker gangs. The only city on Jagoris is essentially a neo-feudal Neo-Tokyo, like in the movie Akira, and the orcs, of course, have their own version of this Neo-Tokyo style city that is just a shambolic, steampunk-style biker city on the other side of the continent. The Khan was sent to Jagoris to stop a Dark Eldar expansion, but the orcs on the planet halted his plans. But now he's off the planet and taking the fight to the Dark Eldar in the Great Crusade. The White Scars, as a chapter, a legion, and a culture, are an infusion of samurai honor codes, practices, and Mongolian outlooks with a biker gang brotherhood organisation and mentality. You blend all those together, and you've got the White Scars. We make them less Asian dude stand-in and more grimdark samurai biker, right? The Khan originally sides with Horus out of brotherly duty during the Horus Heresy and honour, as he trusts him, right? He trusts Horus as his brother. After seeing his dishonourable acts at Istvan V, he turns on Horus and sides with the Loyalists, screening their retreat from the massacre and escaping with half of his legion to Terra. Some of the slain White Scars are scorched by nuclear fire on Istvan V and become the Legion of the Damned, because they never got to ask the Emperor for any sort of absolution, and they never got to absolve themselves by fighting in the Siege of Terra. In the Siege of Terra, the Khan is made to fight with his legion outside the walls as nobody trusts him. Both Dawn and Sanguinius regretfully don't let him inside the Imperial Palace. The White Scars, after the Siege of Terra, become Ronin, a fleet chapter obsessed with travelling the stars and finding absolution by fighting chaos and the enemies of the Emperor. They become more and more and more extreme as time goes on without their Primarch, and eventually convert to worship the Emperor as a god. So what happened to the Khan after the Horus Heresy? Well, he fights Mortarion to a standstill at the Siege of Terra, and the Siege of Terra essentially happens exactly as it does in the current lore and canon. After the Horus Heresy, the Khan tries to find absolution from the Emperor by travelling into the Ghoul Stars, and he finds and sits on a psychic projection unit called the Throne of Glass, and he's stuck there for 10,000 years in a warp anomaly looking for his father. But for the Khan, it seems like and feels like only maybe a couple of weeks have passed. He is found eventually by the Death Spectres, a White Scar successor chapter, and is freed when their chapter master takes the Khan's place on the throne. They watch over him for thousands of years, the Khan I mean, and the Great Rift shatters the throne's hold on the Khan long enough for him to be replaced by the chapter master of the Death Spectres. And that, the Khan is back, and that is how he comes back, and that is where we are in the current 40k setting for the White Scars. What do you think? You think we've done well? I think we've done pretty well. At the start of every video we do, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not really sure we can do this, but then we actually do bring it around. We do end up bringing it around. I quite like it. Rigamorta says, Samurai, you're late to the party, dude. But the Mongol stuff's still in there. We just made them a bit more samurai as well, because calling somebody a Khan, who's literally a Mongol in space, is kind of like, you know, just too on the nose. Your Discord link is broken. It will be working right now. Let me sort out the Discord link. For now, let's say goodbye to the good folks on YouTube. Goodbye, folks on YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.